Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to San Diego. It is a gorgeous day as the San Diego Chargers will be hosting the Denver Broncos in a shootout in the AFC West. Hello, I'm Charlie Jones. This is Jimmy Cephalo. And Jimmy, what we have today, I think, are two just good football teams, but both with great quarterbacks.
Now, great quarterbacks with contrasting styles, Charlie. Let's start with Dan Fouts of the San Diego Chargers. The 15-year veteran has a different kind of a style. He sets about 7 yards deep in the pocket, a very short set, makes it difficult for outside rushes to get to him, and he also throws the ball on time continually, often releasing the football before a receiver makes his break.
Now, he is a 15-year veteran. John Elway, he's a youngster. He's only a 5-year veteran, but he does have a different style.
Yeah, he likes to run around back there. Maybe he's not been in the league long enough time to find out how difficult it can be after linebackers start beating up on you. Elway likes to run with the great scrambling ability that he has. He can go from one side of the field to the other, making defensive linemen chase him all around, but he has such a strong arm that he keeps defensive backs honest. He has the ability to get pinned down on one side, yet have the strong arm to throw completely back against the grain and complete a ball to a wide receiver. That's why John Elway is the most dangerous quarterback in the NFL today.
Now, you were a receiver for many years in the National Football League. From that standpoint, who is the better quarterback?
I think it's a John Elway, personally, because I loved as a wide receiver to be able to go all over the field and force a defensive back to stay with me. The great thing about John Elway is that a defensive back might be able to get off a receiver if there's not a quarterback with a strong arm, come up and make it tackleable. With John Elway, the levels open up all the way downfield because defensive backs have to stay with receivers all over the field.
And the Chargers obviously feel that way, as does most of San Diego. Here is a look at the newspaper here. They have made John Elway the target. The Chargers feel if they have a chance to win this ball game, they have to stop John Elway. Charlie Jones along with Jimmy Cephalo. Welcome to San Diego. A sellout crowd could well be a record, as Rich Carlos will be kicking off for the Denver Broncos. The deep back will be Jamie Holland. And this kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beer. Normally, it has been Gary Anderson. He fumbled the opening kickoff last week against Seattle. Here's Holland, and he returns it across the 25 to the 26-yard line where K.C. Clark makes the tackle. So San Diego will move on offense, and Dan Fouts will be starting, as you know, a calf injury a couple of weeks ago, very sparingly last week in the second half. So it is Fouts at quarterback, with Tim Spencer and Gary Anderson the running backs, Lionel James, Wes Chandler the wide receivers, Kellen Winslow the tight end, and official discussion.
Number 35, offside on the kickoff, penalty refused, first down.
Ken Bell offsides on the kickoff. And a first down for San Diego at their own 26-yard line, and they open with an opening set as Lachey, Fitzpatrick, Masek McKnight, and Broderick Thompson in only a second NFL start as the offensive line, but they show now 3 tight ends. Maximum protection for Fouts. Here's the screen to Kellen Winslow. Winslow did not catch a pass last week. Opening play has 2 yards to the 28. Second down and 8 as Jim Ryan makes the tackle. Defensively, it is Andre Townsend at left end for Freddie Gilbert, who has that knee problem, Cragen, and then Jones. This is the basic set. They'll change it. Fletcher, Mecklenburg, Hundley, and Ryan. Now, of course, you know Mecklenburg is stationed inside. He will move outside to the right. Jim Ryan, right outside linebacker, will also come back inside. Showing a power eye offense. That's the set. And Anderson comes in motion. Fouts to Lionel James, and he is going to lose yardage back to the 24. He'll lose 4. It'll be third down and 12. Randy Robbins, a strong safety, makes the play. And let's look at the defensive backs, because change of possession and a change of names and numbers. Haynes, Wilson, Robbins, and Hart.
Right, Mike Harden going from his cornerback spot that he normally plays on the right side to free safety because of an injury. And it's Steve Wilson who'll be starting at the right cornerback spot, Charlie. It'll be interesting to find out just how Dan Fouts wants to attack that different and changing secondary of the Denver Broncos.
They're spotting it at the 25, so it is third down and 11. Fouts over the middle. Winslow has the first down to the 40, and he goes to the 45-yard line. 20 yards for Kellen Winslow. And do you know what set it up? the opening play to Winslow.
Right.
If he catches that first pass, he's in the ball game.
Yeah, and he will be for the remainder of the day. They did not get the football to him at all last week. He's got 1-1 with number 48, Robbins. That's his mismatch. Anytime you get that. Winslow, if they can get him one-on-one against any of the safeties this afternoon, Fouts is going to throw to him continually. He said it yesterday, Charlie, talking to Al Saunders. Kellen Winslow must be a big factor in today's game for the Chargers to be successful offensively.
Tony Lilly, Jeremiah Castile making the tackle in the secondary as they had 6 defensive backs in the ball game. First down for the Chargers at their own 45-yard line. Here's Tim Spencer. And he goes for 9. To the Denver 46. It'll be second down and 1. Greg Cragen makes the tackle.
Charlie, we said earlier, Charlie, they must get an offensive running play together to be successful. Watch the pull by number 74, Lachey, in the hole. He opens it up, and the running goes behind number 76, Broderick Thompson, who's in because of his blocking ability today. He's starting in front of Garrett Kowalski. The Chargers unhappy with Kowalski's blocking.
For Dan Reeves, his 100th game as head coach of the Denver Broncos. Gary Anderson will pick up the first down. Al Saunders, the head coach of the San Diego Chargers. The record on the year is 8-2. His first victory in week 10 last year. And he was dressed just like this. Remember, we did the ball game. It was freezing cold. Well, we thought he was just excited. I think we found he was wearing long underwear underneath it. 43-yard line of Denver. First down. James comes in motion. Fouts to throw. Incomplete. He was going to Wes Chandler, and Steve Wilson had the coverage. We have a final. We've had upsets. We have another one. Buffalo 27. Miami nothing.
Oh, that has to be the first time they've been shut out in a very long time. With Dan Marino at quarterback?
Yes.
He had the flu going into the contest. He might have had a factor, but Don Shula said before the game he was healthy.
43-yard line. Second down and 10. We'll be updating all of the scores of the early games, of course, as this game progresses. Fouts. Incomplete. Wes Chandler, excellent defensive coverage. Fouts in reality threw behind. Mark Haynes had the coverage, throwing behind. It's the only place he could throw the ball that he had a chance to catch it.
Yeah, it is, and he put it in the right spot for it. It could have been a completion, Charlie, as you mentioned, though. It's a slightly throw behind the receiver, but he had to put it there because Haynes, as you said, had the good coverage. That's the second time this afternoon that they've gotten man-on-man coverage between Wes Chandler and Haynes on the corner, and Fouts has to be very happy about that in the backfield.
Jamie Holland goes wide to the far side. James to the near side. 4 wide receivers in this set. And Fouts goes deep. And it's there. 5-yard line. Jamie Holland. There's a marker on the play back at the 43-yard line. Illegal motion against the Chargers. They'll bring it back. This will go down as a 5-yard penalty. In reality, it is
number 86, offense, illegal motion. We'll replay the down.
That was Jamie Holland. No wonder he got a good jump on the corner. It'll go down. In reality, though, it's about a 48-yard penalty and could well cost points because it would have been at the 5-yard line. Costly motion penalty.
Let's find out if we can see exactly him getting off. That's Jeremiah Castile, number 28. Oh, yeah, he's a full step. Yeah, Jimmy Holland was excited about that pass penalty. He saw the man-on-man coverage, and he wanted to go get the football, but a little bit too early.
Third down and 15. He knew Dave was coming to him, didn't he? Fouts deep over the middle into double coverage and almost caught. Excellent defensive coverage by Mike Harden and Steve Wilson.
Charlie, the problem the San Diego Chargers have is they have absolutely no speed on the outside. In order to get any speed at all, they've got to put Gary Anderson out there. Here, Lionel James, good quickness, not a great deal of speed. He gets down the middle of the field, but as you can see, does not have the speed to outrun the 2 defenders. That's Wilson making the play, number 45, over the top.
4th and 15, so Ralph Mojenko will be kicking to Ricky Natia. Left-footed kicker. And He let it go into the end zone for the touchback. So we have 10 minutes and 36 seconds left to go in the first quarter, and we have no score between the San Diego Chargers and the Denver Broncos. Denver wants to do something exciting early to take the crowd out. San Diego wants to do something exciting to get the crowd back in the ballgame because they don't know how to react off of that loss to Seattle last night.
Yeah, well, I think they did some of it. They wanted to get Kellen Winslow into the contest early. They did that. He's a very important emotional part of this football team. And also, I think they like what they saw. They got a lot of man-to-man coverage downfield. Dan Fouts has to be happy on the sideline talking to the offensive people upstairs. He got man-to-man with a couple of people. Lionel James got it one time, Wes Chandler another time. And surprisingly, with his big tight end, he had a man-to-man coverage with Kellen Winslow.
So now John Elway goes to work at his own 20-yard line. Warren Marshall and Gene Lang are the two starting backs. Massey shows motion. And this is Ken Bell, who is also in there. So they're changing around what they announced would be their starting lineup. Lee Williams makes the play. And it will be second down and 10. In the fourth quarter, Indianapolis in front of Houston. Hogaboom is injured out of that ball game. Chicago comfortably in front of Green Bay. Buffalo shutting out Miami. Philadelphia and New England headed towards overtime possibly. And Pittsburgh loses. And in the fourth, the Jets and the Bengals are tied at 20 in St. Louis in front of Atlanta. Elway from the shotgun. And floats one downfield near the first down as he goes to Vance Johnson. Gil Byrd makes the tackle, and we'll look at that offense because there's an announced offense, and then, of course, there's the real offense. And it's Elway, Winder, and Lang scheduled to start with Johnson and Jackson, two of the three amigos as the wide receiver. The third, of course, is Ricky Nattil. Clarence Kay is the tight end. That offensive line of Studdard, Bishop, Freeman, Humphreys, and Lanier. Third down, about a half a yard to go for the first down. Sammy Winder is the remaining back. Massey showing motion. And Elway just leaning in with that quarterback sneak, and he'll pick up the first down. The defense of the Chargers, Lee Williams, Mike Charles, Joe Phillips. This, of course, we'll look at the standard set with Billy Ray Smith, Chip Banks. Those are the outside linebackers. They're the bookends with Jackson and Benson, the two inside linebackers. Patterson, Bird, Bayless, and Glenn. Not a lot of speed in that secondary, and Elway, he wants to take advantage of that fact.
Well, the Chargers like to blitz quite a bit. Ron Lynn, the defensive coordinator, is a gambling type of a coordinator. That means a lot of pressure on the outside of the quarterbacks, and quite honestly, the Chargers don't have the ability to shut down the Broncos receivers.
Denver showing two tight ends, shotgun on first down. The pass is complete over the middle to the 37-yard line to Vance Johnson. It'll be second down and 3 as Thomas Benson makes the tackle.
Vance Johnson is having one of his best seasons, probably the best year he's had already. They're clearing out the middle of the field. They're allowing Vance Johnson just to find a soft area right in the middle. They want to get the football to him as much as possible, even if it's kind of like an extended running play. They'll line him out there, put him across the middle. There you see the three amigos. Sometimes they'll throw the quick hitch out to him, but they have really performed well. These three wide receivers look exactly alike. Thus the name, the three amigos.
A lot of speed. Inside handoff to Lang, and he'll pick up the first down as he goes to the 41-yard line. Now, one of the reasons, Martin Bayless making the tackle, one of the reasons that Denver's showing a shotgun on first down and throwing on first down is it changes what the defense can do, because the defense has a normal first down defense, a runner pass type defense. He shows the shotgun. He has 4 wide receivers. That gives a great advantage to the offense.
Yeah,
the guessing game is on.
Also, they've not run the ball very well, but sometimes a running back will like the shotgun to run the sweep on him. It gives him more room to look downfield and pick his blocking up. Chargers
counter with Danny Walters, 5 in the secondary, and it's the inside handoff to Gene Lang. 47-yard line, gain of 6. Going to be second down and 4 as Gary Plummer makes the tackle. It's now a final. Chicago defeats Green Bay by a score of 23-10. Here we have no score between the Denver Broncos and the San Diego Chargers. Moving on the 7-minute mark. Time remaining in a very fast-moving first quarter. Vance Johnson wide to the near side. Jackson to the far side. 5 in the secondary. Orson Mobley in motion. Elway picks it up, gives it to Sammy Winder, and he'll be a couple of yards shy of the first down. It's going to be 3rd down and 2.
Chip Banks does a lot for a defense. Of course, he's the great athlete on one side, but he and Billy Ray Smith on both sides give such strength to the perimeter. Now, it's going away from him, but he's got enough ability to run the running back from the other side of the field. That is a great athlete. Of course, Billy Ray Smith there, just in case it comes his way.
4th down and 2. And Elway is not opposed to running the ball himself. And now there's a flag down. It's a free down. It's against San Diego. The pass is dropped by Vance Johnson. But the marker down as the Chargers jump. Now the question is, were they pulled off? I think Elway may have changed his cadence. It's against San Diego. And it'll be a first down.
Defense, number 54, offside. 5-yard penalty makes it a first down.
Billy Ray Smith offside. So 2 key penalties against San Diego. That was a 3rd and 2. If they hold, Denver is forced to punt. The motion penalty in a play that took them to the 5-yard line. So we remain scoreless now with 6:04 time remaining first quarter. The ball at the San Diego 46-yard line. 2 tight ends, Mobley and Kay, both in that offensive set. Elway again from the shotgun on first down. Has a man all alone at the 25-yard line. That's Mobley. 21 yards on the play, and he found an open zone of about 5 yards and went into a big receiver, 6'5", 270-plus pounds.
Charlie, they actually flooded the right side of the zone. Notice Elway looking to his left. He knows he wants to come back to the right. He's trying to move the safety. And there's the big tight end in between the short receiver, who was a running back, and Jackson, who had streaked down the field. He found a soft spot, and Elway can gun it in as well as anybody.
Elway last week against the Raiders from the shotgun and from the other formation. We'll come back to that. There's a lot of information there, and it's all good information. It takes a little time to diagnose it. A couple of yards for Gene Lang to the 23. It's 2nd down and 8. From the shotgun formation, he was 11 of 16, 240 yards. From a regular set up under center, 5 of 13 for 58 yards. He's very comfortable from the shotgun. Dan Fouts does not like the shotgun formation.
Well, the shotgun became popular once again 5 or 6 years ago. Remember, for a long time, the shotgun was not used. John Elway came into the league. It allowed him to look over a defense, stand back there, get the snap, and be able to read it. He did that as a young player. For that reason, he likes it a lot better than Dan Fouts does.
2nd down. Mobley in motion. Elway has good protection, and the pass is caught at the 19-yard line by Mark Jackson. A gain of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Now let's go to NFL Live.
All right, Charlie, tied at 20, under 2 minutes to go at the Meadowlands. Jim Breach tries to untie it for the Bengals, and he unties it all right, as his kick is blocked by Barry Bennett, picked up by Rich Miano of the Jets, a 67-yard return, and just like that, the Jets lead 27-20, about a minute and a half to play.
Strange things are happening this year, Bob. 3rd down and 4. 6 in the secondary for San Diego. Elway throws on target again at the 9-yard line. The play goes to the 6. It is Rick Massey. That is only his 8th reception of the year. And a gain of 13 yards. First down, goal to go.
And Massey has no business catching this at all. Actually, none whatsoever. Take a look at Massey. He's up here this side of the field. He's going to come down. He's very well covered, but he actually knocked the defender down. And watch the throw by Elway. The great throw because of his super arm, but he actually runs over the defensive back. Well, I'll get back to later if we can.
But we'll save that. We'll save that. All right, first down goal to go at the 6. As Elway trying to put together a 20-yard touchdown drive. Winder gets the call. We'll give him a yard. It's going to be 2nd down goal to go. This is a drive started back at the 20, and Denver is 3 for 3 in 3rd down conversions. 3rd down and a half yard, just shy of the 30. 3rd down and 2 at their own 49, and they converted, and 3rd down and 4 at the San Diego 19.
And that's a change for the San Diego defense. Before last week's debacle up at the Dome in Seattle, they were leading the NFL in 3rd down defense, only allowing 30% of 3rd down conversions. That has fallen apart last week, and it seems to be falling apart again today.
13th play of the drive. Mateo, the motion man, it's intercepted in the end zone. Vince Glenn. Checking for flags. 103 yards. No flag. Point after 7-0. San Diego will be back in a moment.
A receiver down here, bottom of the field. He runs the quick slant. Elway thinks he's got man, but here's Glenn. This defensive back is stuck out here, but Glenn steps in front and makes the interception, goes all the way 103 yards, a record here in San Diego. There he is, lurking in the middle. The receiver behind him was open. He had beaten the defensive back.
As we come back live, Ricky Natio with the kickoff return to the 23-yard line. We've got a timeout. The Chargers have the lead by a score of 7. Birthday at Mile High Stadium, and this is what happened.
Yeah, a year ago, the last time these two teams met, that's Jeffrey Dale stepping in front of a John Elway pass. Elway that time was able to push the San Diego Charger defensive back away. It turned them away, and the Chargers went on to win that football game.
103-yard interception return for the touchdown, longest in San Diego Charger history, breaking the old record of Speedy Duncan. That was 100 yards against Kansas City back in 1967. And this is the handoff to Sammy Winder. Winder, a good move, gets to the outside, and he's out at the 32-yard line. 2nd down and 1 as Mike Davis makes the tackle. Sammy Winder this year, 375 yards rushing, a 3.7-yard average. That's in a total of 101 carries coming in the ballgame. He scored a couple of touchdowns. Denver, of course, as everyone knows, really hurting at running back.
Oh, with all the injuries they've had, not only to Gerald Wilhite, but then last week to Steve Sewell with the broken jaw against the Raiders. 2nd down and 1. Clarence Kay showing motion. In reality becomes the lead blocker. Gene Line to the 35-yard line, and he picks up the 1st down as Lee Williams makes the tackle. The Broncos offense coming into the game 10th in the National Football League and rushing 2nd in the NFL in passing. It's actually surprising that they're 10th in the NFL in rushing because they've had all of the injuries. And also, Dan Reeves has not been happy with the blocking of the running backs for the other person in the backfield. John Elway's had to rely on his arm much too much this season.
Elway to throw, sets up deep as if he wants his screen, goes downfield pass. He's caught by Vance Johnson at the 47-yard line, a gain of 12, and he has the 1st down. Danny Walters had the coverage.
Vance Johnson has such tremendous speed, about a 4.28 40. For that reason, he's got the defensive back on his heels. That's Danny Walters. So he's got to worry about him going right to the goal line. And when Johnson comes back, the good throw, the good strong throw by Elway, gets the completion.
Johnson, of course, has that 4.3 burner speed, and you've got to stay off of him. You've got to respect that because he can go deep at any time. Of course, with Elway's arm, once they start scrambling, then all kinds of things can happen. Going deep, bearing it out on 1st down, and it is caught. 1-yard line. Mark Jackson, 52 yards. Elvis Patterson had the coverage.
All right, Jackson against Patterson. The strength of the arm, unquestionable. Look at this throw. It's the only place it could be for Jackson to come down with the catch over the top. A nice leaping catch over Patterson. He had him beat by just about a step. His back foot dumps into the end zone, kicks the tire away. But, of course, the football is what counts. That's out at the 1.
And it'll be first down and goal to go at the 1-yard line. Here I would look for Elway and a quarterback sneak. Chargers are looking for it. They're jammed up inside. The second back through is Sammy Winder. Touchdown, Denver. Winder scoring his 3rd touchdown of the year. So Denver now has pieced together 2 long drives against San Diego. One ended with an interception 3 yards deep and a 103-yard interception return for the touchdown. And this was a drive of 77 yards in 5 plays. Rich Carlos to attempt the point after. As he goes for the tie, Kubiak the holder, and he has got it. So we're all tied here at San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium, 7-7, as we take another look at the touchdown. Football League, the San Diego Chargers and the Denver Broncos, as Rich Carlos kicks off. Jamie Holland will down it about 8 yards deep in the end zone with a touchback. Will bring it out to the 20-yard line. There's a flag on the play. And so that decision, you await exactly of where the ball will be, and a time for us to remind you that this telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Diego Chargers and the National Football League is prohibited. John Elway, thus far in the ballgame, has completed 8 of 8. 7 of 8 to a Bronco receiver, and the 1 on the interception. Here's the call from Gene Barth.
We have a personal foul, a flagrant grasp for the face mask on number 88 of the kicking team after the play was dead in the end zone. 15 yards and a first down.
So San Diego will go to work on offense at their own 35-yard line rather than the 20.
Charlie, an interesting note, Dan Fouts and the offense of the Chargers have been off the field for 10 minutes and 14 seconds because of that man. John Elway, 2 drives, the interception in between. But Fouts, they took the opening kickoff. 4:34 is when they left the field. Now with 22 seconds left, they're back on the field.
Here's the reverse to Anderson. Fouts, the lead blocker, and misses his man at the 45-yard line. I've never seen Fouts as a lead blocker in 10 years.
Something that these 2 quarterbacks have in common is that they're quarterbacks with a linebacker mentality. Keep your eye on Dan Fouts the entire time. This is one of the great attempts of a quarterback block I have ever seen. Now here's the reverse coming back the other side. Anderson, we said, with a great speed. But Fouts is up the top of your screen. He throws himself at Wilson. He misses him, but we'll give him an 8 for effort on that deal.
The ball ends up at the 43-yard line. A gain of 8 at second down and a couple. Curtis Adams. And here come flags. Just to go back to the point of John Elway thus far, as we're running out of time now at the end of the first quarter. Elway, in the first period, 7 of 8, 119 yards, 1 interception. Great statistic. Whew.
We have holding on number 85 offense. 10-yard penalty, and we'll replay the down. The quarter's over.
Eric Sievers. The penalty, since it's an offensive penalty, that is the end of the first quarter. It's in the book. We're tied at 7-7. We'll be back with second quarter action in just a moment. And I think I'll play back Dan Fouts and that rolling block that missed. Because I don't remember. I mean, is it because John Elway is so active that he has now decided that in this particular ball game that That he is rejuvenated? He's going to do more things like that?
No, I don't think so. You take a look at Dan Fouts through the years. He's the toughest quarterback in the NFL. Oh, yeah. 2 years ago against the Raiders, remember the pictures of him with a broken nose, blood streaming down, but he refuses to get out of the game. And here, he throws his body around like a linebacker does. He really doesn't care because he has the label of a quarterback doesn't mean he's got to act like one. That prima donna image certainly does not apply to Dan Fouts.
Doesn't apply to him on the golf course either. He's a tough competitor, I tell you. Here are the statistics in the first quarter.
Well, they've kept Dan Fouts off the field, only 39 yards total offense. That's the biggest stat of that because Fouts looks like he's going to be successful. Had some receivers open in the first drive.
Completing 3 of 6 thus far in the ballgame. As we start the second quarter, we're tied at 7-7. Fouts drops this one off underneath the coverage to Lionel James. Pass is complete at the 37-yard line. So it will be 3rd down and around 6 to go for the first down as Jeremiah Castile makes the tackle for the Denver Broncos. And we expect with these two ball clubs, and we said this at the beginning of the telecast, these are not great ball clubs. These are great quarterbacks with average ball clubs in the National Football League, both carrying their teams. That you expect them to throw on every down. And yet we've seen a lot of running attack from both sides. With good protection, close to the first down at the 45-yard line to Lionel James. Steve Wilson makes the tackle. This is all where the ball is placed. It was a 3rd down and 6. It's going to be inches shy of the first down. And San Diego will kick it away here. No question about it.
Lionel James working man-on-man against Steve Wilson. A good play by Wilson. He jammed him tough at the line of scrimmage. Hey, and he does his job. If James doesn't make the first down, forget about the catch. He does it because they come up just shy, and the Chargers will punt it away.
Casey Clark is the return man for the Denver Broncos. Mojinko kicking. He takes it at the 8-yard line. Pulled down by the jersey at the 15. 47-yard kick and 8-yard return. We're tied. Denver 7, San Diego 7. 70 degrees here in San Diego. A gorgeous sunny afternoon. And Elway will go. Boy, he has been effective.
Yes.
Long drive.
The only mistake he made, of course, the big mistake, the interception in the end zone. But outside of that, 7 of 8, 1 interception. Everybody's caught the ball. He's not had a ball hit the ground yet this afternoon.
He's in trouble. A scrambling screen. Mike Charles had a free shot at him.
And that's a 320-pound shot coming out of the middle of that San Diego Charger line.
Hold that score battle in a minute because of the screen. Everybody was falling over each other trying to get to it. Okay, Indianapolis, big overuse, and these are the early games. Chicago wins again. Buffalo shuts out Miami. That's the major upset. They're in overtime. Philadelphia and New England, 31-31. New Orleans defeats Pittsburgh. The Jets in a freak thing right at the end of the ballgame on a blocked field goal attempt. And I didn't get to that other one on the other panel. Those are the games going with us. Zap, zap, they went by so fast. We'll come back to them, don't worry. And Denver has called a timeout, and that means that we'll be going away for a moment. We're tied, Denver 7 and San Diego 7. We'll be back in just a moment. Jackson, Vance Johnson, and Ricky Nattiel. That's what they've done today, already 7 for 84 yards.
And Nattiel will get involved in the offense. The last couple of weeks, he's really come into it. Great speed as well, 4.3, 540. Can you imagine 3 receivers, 2 of them run a 4.3 40? That Vance Johnson and Ricky Nattiel presents a lot of problems for a defensive secondary.
That makes Mark Jackson your move receiver, and he's got great speed. 2nd down and 10 at the 15-yard line. Johnson lines up in the backfield. Goes to the far side to Johnson. And he'll pick up the first down out around the 27-yard line. Gain of 12.
Little fake. They like running that wide running play to it, Charlie. They fake it this time, come back and get the man-on-man coverage. That's what we're talking about, the great speed. See the the large cushion that he had over on the left side, Vance Johnson did, because those defensive backs have got to be concerned with him. He loves to run those quick outs, and then on occasion, Elway will come back with a pump fake. They'll go down the sideline. They got to score on it.
And he wasn't in the backfield. He was wide to the far side. First down at the 27-yard line. Again, the shotgun on first down, and the pass is complete far side. And this is Sammy Winder who pulls it in. Thomas Benson was the man who picked him up. They're going to mark it at the 32-yard line, gain of 5. And it will be second down and 5. A reminder to our viewers that we'll be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion of the telecast. 12 minutes and 30 seconds. That is the time remaining. Second quarter. It is Denver 7 and San Diego 7. Vincey Glenn for San Diego, a 103-yard interception return. Sammy Winder capped a 77-yard drive from a yard out for the Denver Broncos. Lang, the ball carrier, and he just plows across the 35 to the 36, so it'll be third down and 1 after a gain of 4 as Lee Williams makes the tackle.
You're talking to some of the Bronco players and personnel the last couple of days. They said they wanted to establish some kind of a running attack. Well, they've run it out of the shotgun. Lang has been successful. So has Sammy Winder. It doesn't necessarily mean they've got to get 4 yards each time they touch the football, but in that situation, second and about 5 or 6, they got the ball close enough so John Elway has third and 1, and they'll take that any time.
Denver has converted 2 of 3 third down opportunities. I believe that's 3 of 4 third down opportunities. As they were 3 for 3 in that opening drive. Johnson going in motion. It'll be close. Winder gets the call. Mike Charles was there. Martin Bayless also had a piece of the play. And they'll spot it at the 37-yard line. They've got it.
Take a look at the right side of the offensive line. You've got Stephon Humphrey, 79, Ken Lanier, number 76. They're kind of stalemated at the line of scrimmage, but just a little hole allowing the back to sneak through, and he does pick up the first down.
Is it time for Elway to go deep?
Oh, I think so. Here, play action fake, 38-yard line. He finally has some room. Back out of the shadow of his own goal line. Yeah, I think I'd go deep with him. He's got 2 of the speed merchants down here, 2 of the 3 amigos down to the right side of the field. Looks like he might do it.
He's going to reposition Johnson. And now he has used his second timeout. He didn't like either what the defense was doing or he didn't like where his offensive players had gone.
Well, he and Johnson had words just right at the end of it there. Obviously, Elway wanted him on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
And you don't want to have words with a quarterback like Elway, particularly if you're a wide receiver.
Well, he's got to
go back and say, John, I'm sorry.
Well, he's the one who gave him the name of the 3 amigos.
Well, yeah, but that's what everybody says that Elway did. But I also understand that Vance Johnson suggested that he give them the Vance does a lot of PR work on it.
And it's a great poster in a couple of weeks, isn't it?
Yes, they've already done they shot the poster this last week. We tried to get an advanced copy, but they don't have one printed up. We were going to have one shipped in. We couldn't do that. Also, to add to it, Vance Johnson and Mark Jackson have been, in the last couple of ball games, have been putting little messages on their shoes, on the tape. You know, like bye-bye on the back of their shoes, and VJ Day for Vance Johnson.
And how much it took a lot of guts for them to put bye-bye in the back of their shoes playing against the Chicago Bears, which they did 2 weeks ago. That's a lot of confidence. Of course, Vance Johnson is never going to be...
What does it say? What does it say?
He's got something called 3 amigos. All right. What? Vance Johnson's never going to be accused of not having a lot of confidence.
Even money that by next week they're out with a T-shirt.
Hey, if the refrigerator can do it, why can't the 3 amigos?
Total offense. The Broncos 168 yards, the Chargers 42. Philadelphia, New England tied at 31 all now in overtime with 5 minutes remaining. Both teams have missed a field goal each in overtime. Elway far side. It's Vance Johnson, 43-yard line. Gain of 6. Second down and 4, Gil Bird.
It's just, Charlie, sorry, it's the same exact play they tried before. They tried a little fake in the backfield here, and look at the amount of room that Vance Johnson has. He runs a little turnout pattern, but Gil Bird give him all kinds of room. And I would too. You know, three amigos, forget about that. How about Speedy Gonzalez? He's got 7 yards up top. Gil Byrd doesn't want to get burned for the big one.
2nd down and 4. Sammy Winder. 44-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and 3 as Chuck Ian makes the tackle. Game's in progress. New York Giants in front of Washington 10-0 in the 2nd quarter. And the Rams comfortably in front of Tampa Bay in the 2nd period by 2 touchdowns. And here we're tied, Denver 7 and San Diego 7. 5 in the secondary looking for the pass. Winder the remaining back. It's Ricky Nattiel in motion. Chargers in a man defense or a combination. Clarence Kay, the tight end, has the 1st down at the San Diego 46-yard line.
Clarence Kay is
3 got 8.
Yeah, and Clarence Kay has turned into quite a receiver as well, Charlie. We'll take a look at him on the telestrator. Here he is right here. He's going to come down and run a little pattern inside. Actually, Elway doesn't want him, but he has nowhere to go to. The 2 receivers on this side of the field are covered, and so it's Clarence Kay who he's got to go to. There's just a little sit right in the middle of the field. He just sits down right in the middle there, and the completion by Elway.
Elway going deep. Nattiel has a touchdown. Flag down back at the 49. 46 yards if it holds. Elway says it is against San Diego.
Illegal use of their hands, a shot to the face, 78 defense, penalty refused, touchdown.
And Denver leads for the first time in the ball game.
And it's Elvis Patterson who gets beat on the outside, Charlie. This may be a first. John Elway actually underthrows this football to Nattiel. Watch it downfield, sets up real well, but it's Nattiel who has to come back inside of Patterson. Patterson actually had fairly good coverage on it, and Elway underthrows it. Nattiel with another big catch.
Rich Carlos to attempt the point after. And he's got it. And the Denver Broncos now lead the San Diego Chargers by a score of 14-7 with 8:53 left to go in the first half. Just added the point after 3 years ago in the heat of battle. I mispronounced his name as Carlos, and I hear about it. In fact, in the Denver Post today, there's a small article that says, "Hey, Charlie, it's Carlos." I talked to him before the ball game. He turned and said, "Oh, that's all right." He said, "I'll just call you Charlie Jonas." And so Rich is kicking off. Gary Anderson is now the deep back on the return for the first time in the ball game, and he fields it at the 3-yard line. Out to the 10, needs a block, has it to the 20, and is decked at the 22-yard line. Oh, he is lowered by Simon Fletcher. It is now a final Philadelphia in overtime, 34, New England 31, McFadden a 38-yard field goal.
Let's look at the drive chart for the Broncos. They started at their own 20. That's the interception. The first one actually may have been the best drive they had going. But Elway's arm, 12 of 14 on the afternoon. 3 long drives could have easily been a 21-0 score. However, the interception by Vincey Glenn prevented that. 14-7 on the part of the Broncos.
Those drives of 73, 77, and 85 yards. Fouts to throw. Drops this one off. Incomplete. It's Curtis Adams swinging out of the backfield. And it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Dan Fouts has always liked that short passing game, Charlie. He throws everything on time, as we mentioned earlier. Likes to get the football to the back, to the tight end underneath. Again, looking to go to Kellen Winslow. He started to do that early in the game, but they've been out of rhythm since the beginning. John Elway has taken over this game. He's dominated thus far, and it's up to Dan Fouts to get back the rhythm of the San Diego Charger offense.
Also, that offense has been, sitting for a while. Even on a nice day like this, as Lionel James gets the call, even on a nice day like this, you still get cold. You get edgy. You want to get back in.
Now take a look at how far Dan Fouts is out of his game. Normally, this is how they're doing today. John Elway, the red, and Fouts, the yellow, completed 6 passes, 0 to 9 yards. Elway, 2 passes, 10 to 19, and 4, 20 and plus. But Dan Fouts, none in the 10 to 19 yard range. That's where he likes to throw the football. Timing patterns about 12, 14 yards deep normally.
3rd down and 7. Good protection. First down, 44-yard line. Wes Chandler pulls it in, a gain of 19 yards. Mark Haynes had the coverage. Chandler just cut it off, and Haynes kept going.
Well, that's again on time. See him sitting short in the pocket. He throws it now, and Chandler hasn't even broken. That's the reason there's a little bit of confusion. Chandler had a break inside. Haynes had good coverage till right at the very end.
First down at the 44-yard line. San Diego trailing by a score of 14 to 7. With 7 minutes and 18 seconds time remaining here in the first half. Curtis Adams. And Adams keeps going down the side. Finally bumped out at the 32-yard line by Jim Ryan. 24 yards for Curtis Adams. And he'll wipe out some of the photographers along the sideline.
Charlie, a great block by the #1 draft choice of the Chargers, Rod Bernstein, number 82, left side of your screen. He takes the defensive back all the way inside. There's the block by Bernstein going out, and Lachey taking another defender out. That gives the big hole for number 42, Curtis Adams, to go down the sideline. They need his running ability. Adams doesn't catch the ball very well, doesn't block well, but as a pure runner, he's one of the best the Chargers have.
And they're still administering on the sideline to, I think it's one of the photographers that he took down on the play. There he is. Stops to throw. Good catch. Lionel James pulled it down. A gain of 12. Wilson took him out of bounds, but as long as he is in the air inbound, and a defender then takes him out, it is a reception at the 20-yard line. Gain of 12, first down. Now it is Fouts who has the hot hand.
Yeah, and Fouts had a couple of choices there. He also had Wes Chandler, number 89, wide open on the far side of the field, but he made up his mind, looking at the defense before the snap was taken, that he was going to go to Lionel James.
Here's Anderson. 15-yard line. Gain of 5, second down and 5. Let's go to NFL Live.
Charlie, the Patriots scored 21 in the 4th quarter to force overtime, but Tony Franklin missed 2 potential game winners. Paul McFadden also missed one in overtime that could have won it, but got a second chance. And he drills this one. The Eagles almost blew it, but they prevailed, 34-31. Patriots are 0.
And here the score, Bob, is Denver 14, San Diego 7, and driving to tie it up. As Bernstein, the tight end, is off to the right flank and comes back in motion. Fouts looks left and back right, back over the middle, and it is incomplete. He had 2 receivers, Bernstein and Eric Sievers. Denver had 4 defenders, including Mike Harden in that same area.
Yeah, he knew exactly where he wanted to go with the football, Charlie. He threw it, this time he's got 2 receivers on the right side of the screen. Down here is Sievers, he's going to come out, and then Bernstein over here, but he knew he wanted Sievers right away. He looked at the pre-reach, right? He comes up to the line of scrimmage and says, yeah, that's where I'm going to throw the football based on what the defense looks like before the snap. And he always goes that way. That's why he is an amazing quarterback. His mental ability is far, far outshines anything he does physically.
Not who the receiver is, but who is the receiver that is going to be in that area.
Correct.
That's the pick. Fouts, he can scramble for it. No, he's getting trapped, and he throws, and it is too long. Wes Chandler trying to pull it down. Mark Haynes was there, and the field goal team will come out. It'll be 4th down and 8 at the 15-yard line.
Dan Fouts scrambling? Are you kidding me?
He threw a block earlier, tried. Now he's...
I'll tell you what, this is, I mean, you talk about a man out of his element. Look at this. Get the wheelchair out.
He even looks uncomfortable scrambling, doesn't he?
Almost a nice catch in the corner of the end zone by Chandler, though.
32-yard field goal attempt by Vince Abbott is long this year, is 47. Mozinko with the hole. And he gets it through. It wasn't pretty, but it counts. And so San Diego pulls within 4 of Denver. Denver 14 And the Chargers 10 with 6:04 time remaining first half.
And the Chargers have to be very happy down by just 4 points, because this game has been dominated by John Elway and Dan Reeves and his Broncos. But Al Saunders piecing it together with a variety of ways. A running attack that's working occasionally. You saw the big run earlier by Curtis Adams. And, of course, Dan Fouts hitting the open receivers. He has that knack, that ability to always go to the receiver who should be open. That's the problem. When you're playing receiver for the Chargers and you should be open based on the defense, you'd better get open, because Fouts will be on you in a second.
And that score again in overtime. Philadelphia 34, England 31. Two other games in progress going along with this game. The New York Giants now leading Washington 13-0. And the Rams now 3 touchdowns up on Tampa Bay. They are in the second quarter as we are here, with 6:04 left to go in the second period. It's Denver 14, San Diego 10. John Elway has completed 12 of 14 passes, 198 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, as Ralph Mojinko kicks off. And Johnson fields it on the run at the 8-yard line, has a blocker out in front. That's Natil. Natil does not do a very good job, and the ball is at the 15-yard line. Elvis Patterson makes the tackle. It can be dangerous on the sideline. Remember when we talked about it when Curtis Adams came out, the cameraman that went down, separated shoulder. Will not return today to click left-handed. No. But yeah, you got to look out. Be alert down there. And it's the worst play. You can't see a thing. You know that.
John, it's dangerous for the players as well. I've always been an advocate of moving them way back. Players can get hurt running them over as well.
Barry Switzer of Oklahoma. He had his leg torn apart. Flags are down as Elway goes back.
Full movement the interior of the Bronco offensive line, Charlie, seems to be the preliminary call.
False start, number 76 and number 79. 5 yards.
Ken Lanier and Stephon Humphreys. That's the right side of the offensive line for Denver. And they'll open at 1st and 15.
Now, this is a Charger team. Ron Lynn, the defensive coordinator, who likes to blitz. He sends 4 people on every play, on most plays, 7 on occasion. Let's see if he doesn't come with everybody deep in Bronco territory.
First down and 15, and Gene Lang has 2 yards to the 12. Second down and 13. Billy Ray Smith with the tackle.
Billy Ray Smith is playing as well as any linebacker in football. Watch him take on the block. A hole, as a matter of fact. He beats the block, gets to the ball carrier. I tell you, that pair of bookends you talked about, Billy Ray Smith on one side, Chip Banks on the other, what they've done is solidify the perimeter of the Charger defense, and that's why they're 8-2 on the season.
Second and 13. Elway from the shotgun. Here's the screen to Winder. Has 2 blockers out in front. He's across the 20 and down to the 21, maybe the 22-yard line. Billy Ray Smith got him. It'll be 3rd down and still 3 yards to go for the first down.
Well, it's Billy Ray Smith once again, Charlie. He does it all over the field. Stops the run very well, but watch him on the pursuit angle to the screen, man, getting over from the other side of the field to take Winder down.
I was in school with his dad at the University of Arkansas. Also had a great pro career with the Colts. 3rd down and 3. Danny Walters is in as the nickelback for San Diego. 5th man on defense. It'll be close to the first down as Natil, who has scored the touchdown, one of the 2 for Denver, makes the reception. First down.
Here's what it looks like from John Elway's perspective. Back in the shotgun, taking a look over the defense. They got the blitz coming straight up the gut against them, but he has the man-on-man coverage. And it's Natil beating Elvis Patterson across the middle for the first down.
Oh, that's a good shot of the action at ground level. First down, Denver. Denver leading in the ballgame 14-10. 3:47 and counting. Time remaining first half. Good ball game. Gene Lang. Playing to the 27, and Billy Ray Smith, he's everywhere today. He does it again.
He's got all-pro written all over him. The previous play, he was on a blitz and got drilled in the middle of the line of scrimmage, but that doesn't deter him. He breaks one tackle. That stuttered number 70 trying to get over there, but and he's got help now from Chip Banks on the other side. Used to be, if you wanted to run away from Billy Ray Smith, it's real easy. Go to the other side of the field. But now with Chip Banks over there, which side do you pick to go against? Usually you've got to try to penetrate the middle of the Charger offensive or defensive line this year.
2nd and 8. Elway from the shotgun. Gene Lyon. First down. Almost breaks it. He goes to the 45-yard line. Gain of 18 yards on the play. First down, 45-yard line.
Take a look at it from the end zone angle, Charlie. Again, they like to run that sweep out of the shotgun formation. Stephon Humphreys, number 79, with a nice block to spring the runner inside. Lang, nice blocking downfield by the receivers. That's A.D. Jackson on the right. Allows him to get a few extra yards.
Fitzy Glenn, who scored the touchdown 103-yard interception return, also had a piece of the stop. First down, Denver. Chargers are offside. Free play for Elway. He goes deep. Another flag downfield. Pass is incomplete. Chargers were in the neutral zone, and then there's another flag later in the play. Jackson, the intended receiver. And the three amigos, Jackson, Johnson, and Natil, have been a major factor in the ballgame, just as everyone expected. The great speed of those three wide receivers. Here's Gene Barth.
We have offsetting fouls, 88 offensive pass interference, number 99 defense offside. We'll replay the down.
So it's Clarence Kay who moved a little bit, or excuse me, he's the one downfield with the offensive pass interference.
Now, we've talked to the three amigos as a group. 9 receptions, 152 yards, and a touchdown. Remember, not long ago when we looked, Natil didn't have anything. You said he'll be involved. 2 for 50 and a score. Down goes over. First at the 45. Denver in their own territory. Elway with the screen. This is Winder. Sammy to the 50. He cuts back. 43-yard line of San Diego on the first down. Gain of 12 yards on the play. Chip Banks with the tackle. That takes us to the 2-minute warning. We've got a timeout, and Denver has the lead, and the ball is 14-10. Progress, the Giants comfortably in front of Washington, 13-0. They've dominated that ballgame. The Rams have dominated the Buccaneers, 21-0. They're both in the second quarter as we are here. Denver 14, San Diego 10. First down, Broncos at the Chargers' 42-yard line. A reminder, Denver has only 1 timeout remaining in this half. They've already used 2 of them. Knocked away. Chuck Ian makes the play. Dan Reeves, head coach. I can't say enough about John Elway. If he's not the NFL's MVP, I don't know who is. He's the best I've ever seen. And he's having another great afternoon.
Yeah, he certainly is. And remember, Dan Reeves spent some time with Roger Staubach, so that's saying something. And John Elway, 15 of 18 on the afternoon.
223 yards already, a touchdown and an interception. The interception cost him the touchdown, a 103-yard return by Vincey Glenn. 2nd and 10. Elway goes deep. Wide a man there. Up at the 9-yard line. Vance Johnson, 33 yards, and he stays down. He went for the knee.
Johnson seemed to twist his knee underneath him just as he caught the football, Charlie. And that's a knee that's been bothering him. You remember 2 years ago, last year, he had some arthroscopic surgery on it. Said it had been bothering him during this season and had planned on getting a little bit more of surgery after the year. Here's a look at it. Now, Johnson is right here. He's got a receiver to the outside. They're both going to go straight down the field, and that puts the pressure on this man, the safety here. Watch the throw by Elway, and watch what also happens to the safety in the middle field. Where does he decide to go? Does Elway look him off? Apparently so, because the safety starts the other way. The strong throw by Elway, and there you see the knee twisted underneath of Johnson. Another look at the injury from this side. Yeah, that Left knee. Oh, my. Yeah, that twist on that hurts.
Now, that's the bad news. Now, the good news is he just walked off the field. He wasn't carried off. He wasn't assisted. And now he is coming back on, or he's just jogging up and down the side. He has to stay out one play or it costs him a timeout. That's the rule because of an injury. Ball's at the 9-yard line. First down, goal to go.
Once again, it's the strong arm of Elway that does that, though. He has the ability to look up, look a safety off, they come back and bing, and he gets the ball stuck inside to Vance Johnson for a big gain.
The defensive backs say you don't have to see where John's throwing. You can hear it as it goes by. First down, goal to go, 9-yard line. The defensive play was made by Chuck Ian, who bounced a Bronco back into the ball carrier. Gene Lang was the ball carrier, but Ian got in everybody's way.
Chuck Ian splitting time with Mike Charles, who was picked up after being released by Tampa and by the Dolphins. Right side of your screen, here comes Ian inside. Oh, he beats the man in front, Stephon Humphreys. It just knocks over the ball carrier.
We've got a timeout, and the score is Denver 14, San Diego 10. We'll be back with 1:33 left in the first half. Second down, goal to go from the 14-yard line into the end zone, and throwing it away, and a flag was down. Elway was just running out of time. Also conserving a little time on the clock. If it's not there, get rid of it now. That'll give you some extra timeouts, some extra time.
Illegal contact, number 54 defense. 5-yard penalty and a first down.
That's on Billy Ray Smith. He's asking for a rule interpretation as he's talking with the field judge, Ed Merrifield. And Ed said, just don't do that again. And the ball goes to the 9-yard line. And that play, of course, the defensive foul carries with it the automatic first down. So it is first down and goal to go at the 9-yard line. Winder in motion, Elway to throw. Incomplete. Mark Jackson, the intended receiver, Elvis Patterson. The defender, it'll be second down, goal to go.
And Mark Jackson trying to make the toughest pattern of a receiver can ever make, trying to run it out on the goal line, because Elvis Patterson has the back end of the end zone to help him out. Jackson coming back should have caught that football, however. He did get over for just a beat.
Toast of the town. His nickname, of course, most of you know is Toast, because he has been burned a few times in his career.
Yeah, that nickname given to him by Bill Parcells when he was with the Giants.
Second down, goal to go at the 9. The three amigos all in the ball game. Vance Johnson back in, running well.
Wide open.
But pressure coming from Chip Banks and from Billy Ray Smith, and Elway had to get rid of it. He was just dumping it off to avoid any kind of a loss. It'll be third down and goal to go. Still at the 9-yard line.
When I said wide open, I really meant it. Billy Ray Smith with good pressure, but Clarence K, number 80, was wide open in the middle of the field. Billy Ray Smith with an open shot. That forced Elway to get rid of it real quickly. Another defender couldn't see his number
Chip
coming
Banks.
from the other side, Chip Banks. And because of that, Elway didn't have time to find number 88, Clarence K. If he had, it would have been an easy 6.
Third down, goal to go. Elway has already thrown for 256 yards in the first half. Here's the blitz. He has to get rid of it again too soon. Much sooner than he wanted to. And credit that to the Chargers defense.
But this time it's a safety blitz, Charlie. They send Betsy Glenn on the play. He's lined up inside. He's going to come from the outside. Betsy Glenn, I think it's here, right here, and comes and makes the pressure on Elway. We mentioned earlier that it was a very much of a blitzing defense that they're trying to go after. Yes, there he is. He was up top, lined over the receiver, and that's what fooled John Elway. Ron Lim, the defensive coordinator, likes to gamble. He goes with it, and it works on 2 successive plays.
27-yard field goal attempt by Carlos. It's there and just barely from 27 yards away. Oh, you want to look at that again. And that makes it Denver 17 San Diego 10, the margin back to 7.
The fans thought it was a little bit wide. I don't know about Carlos, but just to the left, he nearly hooked it outside. No, that's clearly over, right over the goalpost.
Yes.
What did Carlos think about
Rich's
this?
reaction?
He wasn't sure, was he?
He's helping the official.
Yeah, he was hoping is what he was doing.
And he goes.
Had a smile.
Denver 17, San Diego 10 now with 1:09. That is the time remaining in the first half.
Charlie, I mentioned Ron Lynn earlier, that gambling defense of his. I asked him yesterday, what exactly does John Elway do as a quarterback that frightens you? And he looked at me and said, he takes the snap. And I think most defensive coordinators in the NFL will feel the same way about John Elway. Giants still up on top of Washington 13-0.
Jamie Holland is now back as the deep return man on the kickoff. Carlos will be kicking off. He was there at the beginning of the ball game. Placed the last time out by Gary Anderson. And that kickoff goes out of bounds. Be sure to stay with us. We've been updating you on the scores. And at NFL Live at halftime, Bob, Ahmad, Paul, and Frank.
Against the kicking team, kickoff out of bounds, and number 35 offside. By new rule, we put the ball in play 30 yards downfield from the original kick. San Diego ball.
Now take a look at this field goal one more time and decide if you think it's good or not. It seems to go right over the edge of the left upright, directly over the top. That's a tough call for an official, but from here, Charlie, it looks like as it went over the goalpost, it was good. They're making the call.
And the official that makes the call is standing right on the goalpost looking up, so he has the perfect position. And with the new rule in the kickoff, with it going out of bounds, San Diego has the ball at the 35-yard line, their own territory. Fats wants to set a screen. There it is. And it is Barry Redden who is taken out of bounds. That's only his third reception of the year.
Barry Redden, of course, with the trade, the Rams early on for Buford McGee and a draft choice, has not played very much for this San Diego Charger team.
They thought he would really add as a running back, and it hadn't worked out that way. Second down and 10, no gain on the play. Pass is complete at the 47-yard line. Kellen Winslow has the reception. Hurry up offense, 2-minute offense by the Chargers, 48 seconds and counting down. Calling 2 plays in the huddle, possible third at the line of scrimmage. Complete. They'll call a timeout here, yes. Phelps turns to the referee Gene Barth after that gain of 23, stops the clock. As Lionel James comes through the reception at the 30-yard line, Steve Wilson makes the tackle.
Now, this is what they'll do, Charlie. Dan Fouts comes over, talks to Al Saunders. They'll decide on 2 plays. You see Mark Herman, the backup quarterback, as well. They'll go into the huddle, and Fouts will call 2 plays there. If the first one is successful, he gets tackled inside. They'll go back right to the line of scrimmage and run the second one. Nice catch on the part of Lionel James coming across inside the middle. Not a blitz. Lots of time for Fouts, standing short in the pocket, as we mentioned, and beating Steve Wilson, number 45, across the middle.
Thus far in the ballgame, the Denver Broncos have run 38 plays. San Diego Chargers have run 20. Not quite, but almost 2-1.
Well, last week against the Seattle Seahawks, the game that we saw, Seattle ran had 89 offensive plays as opposed to 39 for the San Diego Chargers, and they want to change that bit of a discrepancy.
Denver leading 17-10. Elway has been outstanding in the first half. Fouts trying to tie it up as we head towards halftime. Over the middle, incomplete at the 20-yard line. Lionel James hit by Mike Harden. And it'll be second down and 10, 35 seconds time remaining. Should you be throwing towards the end zone?
Well, they still have some timeouts left. Not necessary at this point, though, Charlie. You talked about the defensive coordinator for the Chargers, Ron Lynn. What about Joe Collier? He has a defense that bends quite a bit from 30 to 30. Inside the 30-yard line, look for Joe Collier to send a few people. He didn't do it on that last play. Let's see if he doesn't try to blitz Fouts up the middle this time around.
Second and 10 at the Denver 30-yard line. Chandler in motion. 3-man rush for the Broncos. Far side, pass is complete to Lionel James. James inside the 10-yard line. He is to the 7-yard line. San Diego has one timeout left. They're going to take it here. And that is a dangerous time to take it. 27 seconds. And now they're out of timeouts. They'd like to save one. They have to go for the field goal.
Right.
And Jimmy can hardly wait to tell me when.
I think that's a mistake, Charlie. I think you run up to the line of scrimmage, you throw the ball out of bounds, and try to do something as we take a look at Lionel James. That way you have one left in order to come back and get your field goal team on the field. Lionel James getting as many yards as he can, but actually a mistake. He's got to get out of bounds and not get tackled with just one timeout remaining.
Because also under the new rules, the quarterback can just step back and drill the ball in the ground. That stops the clock.
Right, and they would have maybe, if it took them 7 or 8 seconds, maybe 10 seconds to do that, with 17 seconds left, still one timeout, then you can go to the end zone twice and have enough time to call timeout and get your team on the field. They'll never get a field goal team on the field with just 17 seconds remaining. They either have to get the touchdown here or hope for an incompleted pass if they can't get into the end zone to get the team to try to kick it.
Good news, though. You've got 4 shots all into the end zone to score. 27 seconds, a lot of time from that standpoint. Fouts. He's throwing, in reality, throwing that one away. Holohan just trying to make the reception. Haynes had the coverage. Fouts was out of time. Now 21 seconds.
And very close to a sack, and also, Charlie, a sack ends this half. They go in there and they sack Dan Fouts, and never going to get him up and on the field to try to throw the ball away.
So with 21 seconds left, Fouts 11 of 19, 118 yards. I think the Chargers fans, after that demolishing by Seattle, still questionable because the crowd has not gotten into the game like you would expect them to be into. Inflow in motion. Throws it is incomplete at the 4-yard line.
And they're lucky because he's going to be tackled there by Robbins, number 48. They're at the 4-yard line, and the half would have been over. You've got to go into the end zone or to the perimeter right on the end. Because you're out of timeouts, now you've got 2 shots left. He has to go to the end zone, or you give it up and say, hey, let's kick the field goal, take the 3 points, and go in at halftime.
Randy Robbins made the defensive play. It took 4 seconds, 17 seconds left. 3rd down, goal to go. James coming in motion. Foul.
Say goodnight.
San Diego does not go in. Here comes the field goal team. Watch the countdown. They're not going to make it.
Save your time, guys. Forget about it. You misuse the clock, and you're not going to get 3 points on the board.
That's what we were talking about. Using the last timeout. Could not get the field goal team in. It is Denver 17, San Diego 10. We're at halftime, and we'll be back after these messages from your local.
A real tough comeback for the Chargers this afternoon. It was a mistake on the part of John Elway, actually. He thought he had a little bit of room, but unfortunately he did not.
103 yards on this interception return that we'll take a look at, and that is a San Diego club record.
Now here's the room I was talking about, Charlie. The receiver down here makes an in move here. Now Vincey Glenn is standing here. His job is to go anywhere he has to all along the end zone. He's reading the eyes of the quarterback, John Elway, and Elway makes the mistake. He thinks he can fit it in, but he doesn't have enough room. Vincey Glenn steps in front, and it goes 103 yards for the touchdown. There it is. See, Elway thought he had enough room to flit it into the wide receiver on the side, but Vincey Glenn takes it. Nice block by Thomas Benson coming up. Watch number 57. Boom, there goes Elway down on the ground. And Vincey Glenn, a new San Diego Charger record, 103 yards.
And also the longest interception return in history against the Denver Broncos.
Another big mistake on the part of a quarterback. This time it happens to be Dan Fouts of the Chargers. No timeouts left. 15 seconds on the clock. The pass is complete, not into the end zone as the rule says. Remember, it's where the ball is. Looked like part of Kellen Winslow's body was in the end zone. The ball was outside. He gets tackled, and because of that, time runs out. They don't get a chance at a field goal.
And we're ready for the start of the second half, and this kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Ralph Bojinko will kick off for San Diego. Denver up 17-10, and the Broncos will have the first advantage to start the second half on offense. And here's Ricky Mateo, and Mateo then goes out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Daniel Hunter was chasing him. A flag back at the 38-yard line. San Diego offsides on the kickoff. So while Denver makes that decision, let's look at the statistics of the first half.
Time of possession, the big formula, Charlie. The Broncos 9 minutes on top. And look at the first down statistic up at the top part of your screen. 18 for the Broncos, 8 for the Chargers.
Reminds you of last week. They had only, going into the fourth quarter, only 4 first down.
Right, they didn't have a first down from the...
Number 58 of the kicking team, 5-yard penalty, will re-kick.
As we get the call, they didn't have a first down from the middle of the second quarter till the end of the football game. The Chargers had troubles last week. And really, Dan Reeves has to be saying, wait, we're outplaying this team all over the field. Why are we only up by 7 points?
Well, one of the reasons we saw just a moment ago, that 103-yard interception return, that is what has kept the San Diego Chargers close.
And on the other sideline, Al Saunders has to be saying, wait, you know, we could have gotten that touchdown in. Was Kellen Winslow in the end zone? Or did we have to use our last timeout? Could we have gotten Abbott on the field and another field goal? He has to be upset as well.
So we start the second half. Denver 17, San Diego, really, we're starting again. Why? David Brandon was offsides on the kickoff. Ken Bell on the return for the 4-yard line. Out to the 20, the 25, breaks it to the 30. Bojinko has a chance at him and gets it. Ralph Bojinko, the punter and the kickoff specialist, a 39-yard return, and he saved the touchdown.
And it's also a great block by Orson Mobley. I don't know if we'll get it into shot, but take a look. Number 89 clearing out a whole side from the right. There it is. Yeah, he get about 2 or 3 people and off to the races. If it's not for Ralph Bojinko, number 2, then it's a touchdown for Ken Bell.
So Denver has a first down and excellent field position to start the second half at their own 45-yard line. Clarence Kay in motion. And here's Gene Lyon. No gain. Second down and 10. During the first half, we talked about the 3 wide receivers of the Denver Broncos. Mark Jackson, Vance Johnson, and Ricky Natio. The 3 amigos, they total 10 receptions, 185 yards, and a touchdown. 60% of Denver's total yards.
And a scary moment for Vance Johnson earlier on because of the knee injury. He seems to be fine, though, running around here to start the second half. No real effects of that twisted knee early in the first half.
Away from the shotgun. Loss of a yard back to the 44, so it's 2nd and 11. Incomplete. Jackson, the intended receiver, couldn't pull it in. Danny Walters had the coverage. 3rd down and 11 at the Denver 44.
That's the 3rd time they've run that play, Charlie, out of the shotgun, the play action fake in the backfield, and trying to beat Danny Walters, number 23 on the far side. That time doesn't give as much room to the wide receiver, and the pass is incomplete.
We've talked about throughout this ball game, 2 great quarterbacks we're watching today, John Elway and Dan Fouts. Over the last 5 years, which of them is the best quarterback in the AFC West? Neither one. Dave Craig at Seattle over the last 5 years. Isn't that an interesting statistic? Good young man up there. Did an excellent job last week. Here's Elway scrambling to the right. Has a man open. It's there. And it's heel again. That was 3rd down and 11, 38 yards. Vincey Glenn with the tackle.
And this is what we talked about early in the day, Charlie, the scrambling ability of one John Elway. He's in here, Nateel down here. Now watch what happens. He's going to run all the way over here. Nateel is going to go down, put his hand up, and streak down the field and get it. Elway is tough to keep in the pocket. And this time, the first time, actually, he scrambled on the entire afternoon. But watch Nateel put his hand up. He sees the scrambling Elway. The defender falls down. And the strength of the arm with the scrambling ability of Elway produces a big play for the Chargers. Or, excuse me, for the Broncos.
Denver has now converted 6 of 7 third down opportunities. 6 of 7. That was 3rd and 11. First down at the San Diego 18. And here's Winder. He cuts back and is stopped at the 11, falls forward to the 10, and is covered by flags. Martin Bayless makes the tackle. To reset this ball game, San Diego In the West, leading with an 8-2 record. Seattle is a 7-3, just a game back. They host the Raiders tomorrow night.
Holding, number 88 offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Denver coming into this game a record of 6-3-1. That tie against Green Bay and Milwaukee that we covered, second week of the season, in the rain, and it went into overtime, and neither team was able to score. That tie is going to work as far as when we get in a little further along in the playoffs. So it's a battle here that if Denver loses, they fall 2.5 back with 4 to go. And if San Diego loses, that means they've lost 2 in a row after winning 8 in a row. Has the bubble burst? So it's in reality, it's all on the line. Oh, I love that cliche. Here's line. Trying to explain this without using a cliche is very difficult. You know that? Gilbert makes the tackle.
And also, Charlie, the Chargers have to go to Mile High Stadium, the last game of the season, to take on these Broncos, and so this game brings on more importance.
And there are the division standings. Denver is 4-0 in the division. Seattle 3-1. San Diego 3-2. Kansas City and the Raiders out as far as the playoff berth is concerned.
So the tiebreakers would go to the Broncos. However, that half game will take the Broncos out of the tiebreaker.
Second down and 14. Here's Elway. Incomplete. Jackson went up wide. Patterson came underneath. And he does a aerial 380, and it's third down.
Elway not happy talking to his receivers. He's been doing that a lot today.
Third down and 14. Elway now 17 of 25. He has thrown for 294 yards, and we still have 11:53 left to go in the third. To the 15, the 10, the 5-yard line. 17 yards. That was third down. Third down and 14. He does it again. Has the first down.
All right, let me follow Elway the entire time. Here's Elway right here. I'm just going to let this thing move. Go ahead, guys, down in the truck, and let's see where he winds up on this thing. Let me show you how much he can scramble. All right, one move, steps up in the pocket. He's fine there. Downfield a little bit more. Got to wait for him. There you go. All right, now where is he going to go? The reason that nobody's coming up to play him is because they know he's got such a strong arm that they leave their receiver. Now look at that pattern. John Elway, the scrambling of a fine young quarterback.
And the artistry of Jimmy Cephalo. And another third down conversion as Winder carries to the 3. It'll be second down, goal to go. Martin Bayless makes the tackle. We'll check our 10-minute ticker. These are the early games. Indianapolis winning, Chicago winning, Buffalo upsetting Miami, shutting them out 27-0. In overtime, Philadelphia over New England by 3, and New Orleans defeats Pittsburgh. The Jets 27-20 over Cincinnati right at the end of that ball game on a blocked field goal, and it was returned. And St. Louis wins. Atlanta loses. Third quarter, Giants up, and the Rams in front of Tampa Bay. And here's Denver, threatening to stretch their margin. They lead by 7. And here's a sweep left with Gene Long. And he is hit at the 5-yard line by Thomas Benson. It'll be third down and goal to go. The down that Elway is the most dangerous.
And also watch Martin Bayless on this play, number 44. Benson with the big hit, but trying to pick up number 44, Martin Bayless. Knocking out, there he is, coming along the line. He beats off Meacher, number 46, strings it down the line to wait for the big hit by Benson, coming from his inside linebacker position.
Third down, Denver again has converted 7 of 8 third down opportunities. Third down goal to go at the 5-yard line. The three amigos all in the ball game. That's Clarence K in motion. Out of the back, the pass is complete. Touchdown, Gene Lang.
Elway had to throw this thing on the run, Charlie, backpedaling the entire time because Chip Banks was coming on the blitz from the left side. Take a look at him. He's got Lang wide open. He's got to get rid of the football. Remember, that worked earlier in the contest when they blitzed Elway down tight, and he wasn't able to get the ball off quickly enough.
Extra point by Carlos is up, and it is good. And so the score is Denver 24, San Diego 10 with 9:27 remaining in the third as Elway does it again.
Game is brought to you by
Charlie Jones along with Jimmy Cephalo and touchdown scoring Gene Lang. I was looking at Gene Lang. I said, no, that's not Jimmy, that's Gene. No. Meanwhile, Jamie Holland is set to return the kickoff of Rich Carlos. 24-10. Denver up by 14. Holland is weaving his way. Good return out to the 28-yard line. Time of possession, number of plays. Ooh.
And of course reflected in the score, but the important part is that the Charger offense has only produced 3 points. The interception by Bensie Glenn in the first quarter gave them their only touchdown of the contest. A very lopsided game so far on the side of the Broncos.
Denver 24, San Diego 10. Bounce 12 of 21. And here's Rod Bernstein. Bernstein, the #1 draft choice out of Texas A&M. And that is only his 8th reception of the season. He's been used a lot on special teams.
Yeah, he's been slowed down as well, Charlie. He pulled a hamstring in the early part of September, was put on injured reserve, and then, of course, the strike occurred. When you're a young player trying to come in to learn a system, that'll set you back quite a bit. That's the reason he's only had 8 receptions to date.
2nd down and 4. Winslow in motion. Bounce to Winslow. 42-yard line. Gain of 8 on the play and a first down. Mike Harden with the tackle.
Kellen Winslow's got to be part of the offense here. He's in motion as the tight end. They actually have 2 tight ends into the contest, quickly into the flat, and unless Harden gets up quicker on that, it's nearly an impossible pass to stop. Winslow with a great size.
Why not come back with it time and time
again? And once they stop it, then you go to the receiver that's trailing Winslow behind him. Let's see if they don't try it, Charlie. Seems like a good idea to me.
First down to San Diego 42. Here's Curtis Adams to the 47-yard line. Gain of 5, and it's 2nd down and 5. Hundley and Harden make the tackle.
One of the names we have not called very often today is that of Carl Mecklenburg, number 77, center of your screen. This time he gets involved in the offense, taking on the block of the lineman in front of him. That's James Fitzpatrick, and Mecklenburg. Nice job getting in on the tackle. Mecklenburg will line up into 7 different spots in the afternoon, all 4 front line positions and all linebacker spots as well.
2nd down, little play action fake by Fouts. Anderson has it at the 39-yard line and stopped in his tracks. A gain of 14, Jeremiah Castile. The first man to get to him. The mark at the 38-yard line, Denver territory.
Nice play action fake. Now I see Gary Anderson, only person with speed on this entire Charger offense. That's why Jeremiah Castile is 6 yards beyond. He's got to respect the speed of Anderson. However, he's about the only deep threat that Dan Reeves and the Denver Broncos have to worry about. The only one that can stretch the defense.
First down at the Denver 38. Curtis Adams. Ball goes out of bounds. The Chargers will retain possession at just outside the 35. Be 2nd down and 7. Mecklenburg makes the tackle.
Yeah, and he's on the blitz this time, Charlie. Inside the guard, coming up. Now, he's blocked the first time around, but has enough presence of mind to chase the ball carrier down the line of scrimmage and make the tackle. The ball pops out. It seems like it was kicked out before he hit the ground, but the official will mark it there at about the 36-yard line.
And it's 2nd down and 8.
When Mecklenburg came into the league, they said, you know, he's not fast enough to play linebacker. He's not big enough to play defensive line. And so he turns into an all-pro by playing both spots very well.
No flag. Denver had jumped one of the defensive linemen. Looked as if he was in the neutral zone, but there was not a flag. Pass is incomplete. Now watch Fouts. Watch this shot of Fouts. He'll look to the sideline, and the play is going to be signaled in. Now, if it's You can tell by his expression if it's a running play or that's a pass. If it's a running play,
it shows disgust.
It shows disgust. It's a sour look on his face. You know, kind of look. Over the middle, it is incomplete. And now it is 4th down. So a drive that started with a little bit of promise for San Diego ends with Ralph Mojenko coming in to kick it away.
And Mecklenburg, watch him here. He's a defensive lineman and fakes the blitz, then drops back in and actually gets in on the play on Winslow, who allows the ball to go right through his hands. But that's something that Mecklenburg can do to you. He lines up as a defensive end and then drops back into coverage.
And we pointed out how successful Denver has been on 3rd down. San Diego's converted on 2 of 7 3rd down opportunities.
And they're going to hold up, Charlie. Hope to draw the Broncos off. If not, they'll line it up and they kick it from 5 yards further.
Now Denver can refuse it. This would be a 5-yard delay of game.
Yeah, 94, 5-yard penalty.
Well, they called it before the delay of game.
82, same guy. Yeah. That's call you made all day.
The call are going against Randy Kirk.
Yeah, they're saying Randy Kirk, when he's barking out the signals, he's nodding his head, trying to draw the defense offside.
Which is a false start.
Never seen it called against the linebacker playing fullback in a punt formation, though, Charlie.
Mojenko just hangs this one up, looks for the coverage, goes into the end zone for the touchback. 41 yards, will bring it out to the 20-yard line. We've got a timeout, and Denver has the lead, 24-10, 5:44 in the 3rd telecast.
Yeah, we did that telecast a little while ago. Terrific telecast. What a wonderful performance by Dorothy Hamill, and Scott Hamilton was terrific.
How was your performance?
Mine wasn't very good, but Bill McAtee was terrific. Scott Hamilton, though, wonderful performance. I've never seen anything like it before.
Is that the one he does the backflip in?
Yes.
On skates? The man is unreal. Denver from the 20-yard line. Here's Gene Lang. Reaching out with a hand to grab him was Billy Ray Smith, and he got away from him. And then Jeff Jackson got it. Go for about 5. The Giants continue to shut out Washington. Tampa Bay got on the board, and it's Rams 28, Tampa Bay 3. Both of those games in the 3rd quarter. We're in the 3rd here with 5 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the 3rd, and it's Denver 24 and San Diego 10.
Charlie, it's time for the San Diego Charger defense to try to get involved in this football game. Look for them to start the blitz and try to get Elway out of his rhythm, and maybe a big turnover. They're the ones who are going to take charge.
Quick screen. Vance Johnson, and he took it on the short hop. It'll be incomplete. 3rd down and 5. The last 2 weeks, the Chargers have been outscored 31-0 in the 2nd half. What happens when something like that? Does it become a mental, or is it just the way that it works out?
No, I think it's just the way it works out. Al Saunders has tried to impress upon his team that, look, that happens. You're going to lose on occasion. Don't dwell on it. Come out and win against Denver. But so far, through 2 1/4, they have not played well today.
Denver, 8 of 9. 3rd down conversions. Guess what? 3rd down and 5. 9 of 10. 35-yard line. Matillo to the 50. He is finally out at the 43-yard line. A gain of 32 yards on the play. And meanwhile, a discussion back at the 15-yard line between the referee, Gene Barr, a couple of Chargers, 3 of the Broncos, including John Elway. But meanwhile, Denver converts it again, 32 yards, 3rd down and 5.
Ricky Detiel, we said earlier, great speed, a 4.35 40-yard dash. He just outruns the defender across the field, and with his great speed, now watch him outrun the angle. You got Bayless, number 44, and Walters, number 23, chasing him down, but he outruns Bayless and nearly turned that corner. Could have been a big play. Clarence Kay making the block downfield.
1st down at the San Diego 44. Gene Lang to the 40-yard line. 2nd down and 6. Billy Ray Smith with the tackle. Let's go back to what we discussed in the pregame show, the Raider factor. Two teams that, when you play the Raiders, they beat you up a lot physically, and it's tough a little to come back the next week. San Diego, when they defeated the Raiders here, then they lost to Seattle. Denver defeated the Raiders last week, but right now it doesn't seem as if the Raider factor is bothering them.
No, not this afternoon, but it will affect them as it goes along because of the two big injuries. One to Steve Sewell, and then, of course, to the defensive back, Dennis Smith, who was knocked out with a broken arm last week.
Second down and 6. Hey, a little miscue in the backfield. So Elway looked as if he wanted to hand it to one back, and then he turned and gave it to Gene Lang. And he goes to the 31-yard line and again has the first down.
It seems like there was a lot of confusion inside. Vance Johnson, is he sure of the play or not? He's putting his hand up. Maybe he's trying to figure out whether Elway was changing the play at the line of scrimmage. That could have been part of it, Charlie. He's kind of putting his hand up to his ear as if he could hear through the helmet.
Now, as a wide receiver, that happens. What do you do?
You look inside and try to find out if he's going to hand the football on. If not, you put your hand up and run down the field.
like you're open.
Right.
And whistles and flags before the play. Does that happen quite a bit in the heat of battle? Or you get out as a wide receiver and you forget what the play was? Here's Gene Barth first.
Encroachment defense 71, 5-yard penalty.
On Mike Charles.
Yeah, Mike Charles taking a step just a little bit too quick. Now, you never forget the play going out there. I mean, here you see Charles gets into the neutral zone, and then Freeman, the center, snaps. It might not have been the snap count, but as soon as he saw Charles move, he'll snap the ball because he gets 5 yards in the bank. You never forget the play. I mean, it's only 10 seconds, Charlie, going from the huddle out to the I mean, I've heard a short memory.
What as you get older, those things happen. That's the reason you don't have a little wide receiver. That's the reason. All right, first down and 5. 26-yard line of San Diego. Denver on still another drive. There's Winder to the 20. Inside the 15-yard line. Gil Bird makes the stop. A gain of 12 yards on the play.
Well, part of being a wide receiver is trying to block downfield. Vance Johnson's not very big, but can he block? Not so bad. That's called chicken fighting, and he did his job. I mean, Gilbert comes off, makes the tackle, but it's 12 yards downfield. They chicken fight. You know, when you're a kid, you get up on somebody's shoulder and just kind of push at each other. Well, that's what a wide receiver tries to do, blocking on the outside. Johnson did it fairly well there.
You're buying time.
Right.
You're buying time. First down, 15-yard line. In a drive that started back at the Denver 20-yard line. Here's Lang as he dives to the 8-yard line. Second down. In what could well turn out to be a record crowd for San Diego. Right now, it's record quiet. Second and 3. Winder. Pushed back by Lee Williams. Other games in progress. The National Football League this afternoon. Giants 16, Washington 3. The Rams still comfortably in front of Tampa Bay 28-3 third quarter. Here's Denver 24 and San Diego 10 with 1:48 and counting time remaining in the third quarter. By the way, next Sunday, Denver will be home to host New England and San Diego on the road at Houston. Conversions 9 of 10 in the end zone. Touchdown on third down to Vance Johnson. 9 yards. For Vance Johnson, that is his 7th touchdown on the year. He is now a touchdown reception in 6 straight games, tying a club record held by Al Dibson and Lionel Taylor.
You know what I like about this, Charlie? This is the same play where Vincey Glenn intercepts the ball and goes 103 yards for the interception. That's a lot of guts on the part of Denver and John Elway. The kind of confidence he had. That time, the slant coming inside, Vincey Glenn went to the other side of the formation with the motion they had and a touchdown on the part of the Broncos. Lots of guts.
And another long drive, this one of 80 yards. And the reaction of the head coach of the Denver Broncos, Dan Reeves, with the score Denver 31 and San Diego 10. Jimmy Central 31-10 in the past, going back several years. You always felt that San Diego could come back from this kind of a margin. Can they do it now?
Well, they don't have as many weapons as they used to have, Charlie. Right now, they only have one man with a great deal of speed, and that's Gary Anderson, who's playing running back and wide receiver. In the past, they had a number of people to go to that were younger. Wes Chandler was a younger Wes Chandler. Kellen Winslow was having the big years before he was injured in 1984. And so for that reason, coming back from a 21-point deficit is more difficult for the Chargers now than it has been in the past.
Rich Kyle is kicking off, and a collision at the 5-yard line as Timmy Ware and Jamie Holland were both going after the football, and now Tippers are starting to play a little pushing and shoving contest. Meanwhile, San Diego has the ball. And meanwhile, we'll take another timeout as you take another look at the collision.
And that's a miscommunication between the two. Generally, the man in the middle is the one who calls it off and can take the football if he wants it. It's kind of like somebody in center field, Charlie, making the mistake. I got it, you take it. Denver on top by 21.
The Chargers trying to fire the troops up. First down, San Diego at their own 18-yard line. Denver 31, Chargers 10. Minute 10 left to go, third quarter. Wes Chandler from the 18 to the 29-yard line. It'll be a first down. Jim Ryan with the tackle. Still a lot of time, but San Diego has to go up top. They can't peck away.
No, I think they've got to throw the football on every down. Again, not without the speed merchant that they used to have. Wes Chandler a couple of years older, as well as Kevin Winslow. They've got to peck away, and they only have a quarter left to do it.
Bounce. First sack of the ball game. Rulon Jones bringing down fouls.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, Charlie, you always know where Dan Fouts is going to be, about 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Count him. Takes those quick, choppy steps right about that spot, and Rulon Jones beating his man. Actually, the protection wasn't bad, but Fouts had to hang on to the football. Credit that sack to the secondary of the Broncos.
Loss of 6, second and 16. Fouts pump left. Now he airs this one out to Anderson. It's going to be pass interference. There's 3 flags down. Anderson still makes the reception 38 yards. If he had dropped the ball, pass interference still would have been called. He was hooked as he made his move on Tony Lilly.
Interference. 22 defense. Penalty refused. First down.
All right, here it is on this side of your screen. You'll see the receiver trying to come downfield. Now, Lilly makes a good point because he bumps into the receiver. But if not, it's a touchdown going the other way. Not a bad move by Lilly. I mean, either get called for the interference or get a touchdown going the other side. Here he comes over to take the ball away. He knows he's beaten right now. He grabs a hold of him because if not, then Anderson's able to catch that in stride, and it's 6 points.
Well, that's a great reception. Fouts 17 of 28, 201 yards. As time buys some. Then there was a misread. Anderson cut it off, was coming back inside. Fouts wanted him to cut it off and circle back up the sideline. As with that play, we come to the end of the third quarter. Denver 31, San Diego 10. And that means we'll be right back after these messages from your local station. Dan Marino's consecutive game touchdown streak stopped at 30 as Buffalo defeated Miami 27-0. Rich Miano returned a blocked field goal 67 yards for a touchdown with time running out. And we're back to action here. Second down. Fouts drops it to Anderson to the 30, to the 20. Inside the 10. He carries defenders for at least 10 yards, 34 yards to the 5-yard line. Steve Wilson marking the 6-yard line. It'll be first down and goal to go.
I'm kind of surprised Gary Anderson hasn't been more a part of this offense lately. He's in the slot coming across the field. He's got that terrific speed, the only one of the Chargers that has it. That why the big play. He is the most exciting football player in the NFL for my money, Charlie. He kind of reminds me of Gale Sayers. He's got that great quickness, very sweet feet. And Gary Anderson, they've got to get the football to him if they're going to get back into this game.
First down, goal to go. There's Adams. They'll mark it about the 2-yard line. Jeremiah Castillo. Jeremiah Castillo makes the tackle. 1-yard line. Second down, goal to go.
And the Chargers can forget about field goal. They've got to get into the end zone down by 21 points with the 14 minutes, 10 seconds left. They must be thinking back, though, about that play at the end of the first half when they made the mistake, messed up the clock, and did not get a field goal off.
Fincher and Adams are running backs. Curtis Adams. Scoring from a yard out. And that is his first touchdown of the year. So San Diego put together an 82-yard drive in 6 plays. And with 14:06 left to go in the game, Vincent Abbots adds a point, and it's 31-17, Denver on top.
Game is brought to you by Coors, the beer with a
15 minutes and 6 seconds left to go in the ball game here at San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium, and Denver leading San Diego 31-17. As Ralph Mojenko will be kicking off, Ken Bell and Ricky Natil are the deep backs on the return. And Ken Bell from the 2-yard line. And hit at the 18 and down at the 21 by Eric Sievers.
This is exactly what the Chargers have to prevent Denver from doing again. They keep putting on those big scoring drives, taking 6-7 minutes off the clock. And now with just 13:57 left, another 6 or 7 minute drive by the Broncos, whether they get any points out of it or not, would end the football game for the Chargers.
Drives of 77, 85, 76, 55, and 80 yards. And Elway on the game, 20 of 29, already over 339 yards. He has thrown for 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. That interception, 103-yard touchdown return by Vincent Brown. And now the crowd starting to get back in the ballgame. Second and 10. Chip Banks makes the deflection.
They've got a little game going. He comes inside while the defensive end goes the other way up to the head, but he's the one who gets that big paw up and knocks the football down. He said earlier, the Chargers will send at least 4 people on every play. They've got a blitz here to get Elway out of his rhythm.
Second and 10. Elway scrambles up the middle. There's Reddings there. A flag is down, and Elway is dropped at the 23-yard line. If it stands, it'll go for 3, but there was a flag down. There are a pair of flags.
Number 22 defense was holding. The right tackle, number 76, was illegally in motion. We'll replay it down. Second down.
So a pair of flags, offsetting penalties, and it's second and 10 back of the 20-yard line. Meanwhile, the clock moves to 13:43 left to go. Denver leading by 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points. incomplete. Natil drops the ball. Banks was there. Kellen Winslow leading the cheers. The flags are out. The touchdown tells.
Chip Banks, the first time, came on the blitz. This time he fakes it, drops back into coverage. They've got a zone pattern set up right along that line there. They went back, dropped back to where the first down would be, and had to make the play in front of them. And Banks, the great linebacker that he is, makes the play on the field.
3rd down and 10. To the 25, has the first down and keeps going. He's to the 50-yard line. He does it again on 3rd down. That was 3rd down and 10. 10 of 11 3rd down conversion.
And nobody wants to come off their receivers. They know Elway can get to him with that great arm of his. Watch it. Where is everybody? All right, there's man-to-man downfield, but there's nobody within 10 yards in front of him. Well, look at 23. That's Walters. He's still running downfield while Elway slides in from behind.
Elway, the number 2 rusher for the Broncos this year, has rushed for 42 yards in the ballgame, so now 242 on the year. And he gives it to Gene Lang. Lang with a yard from the 49 to the 50. 2nd down and 9. Terry Unrein makes the stop.
Each of the last 3 years, the leading rushing quarterback in the AFC, of course, Randall Cunningham from the Philadelphia Eagles this year, leading NFL quarterback. But Elway a close second.
Meanwhile, the long drive with the Denver Broncos keeping Fouts in the Charger offense on the sideline. 2nd and 9, 11:45 and counting and time remaining. Denver up by 14. Winder almost lost it. He'll lose yardage, but he almost dropped the football. Billy Ray Smith was there. Gary Plummer was also there. So a loss of 5. 3rd down and 14.
That 3rd down run by John Elway quieted this crowd for just a little bit, but they've got another 3rd down and long situation, Charlie. And here comes the cheers from the Charger fans.
And San Diego takes a timeout. 11:04 left to go. Denver leads it 31-17. The Giants now leading the Redskins by 10, 19-9, and the Rams still comfortably in front of Tampa Bay. Here we have 11:04 left to go in the 4th, and Denver out in front of San Diego by 14 points. Denver with the ball on ever dangerous 3rd down. 3rd down and 14, but they have converted 11 of 12 3rd down opportunities in the ballgame. That's an awesome statistic.
And when Elway hasn't been able to do it with his arm, he's done it with his feet. 3rd and down just a couple of minutes ago. He gets the big scramble for the first down.
Time in the world. He buys some more. Now he throws, and it's incomplete.
And a late flag comes in.
And meanwhile, he ran the clock down to 10:53. The flag at the 40-yard line downfield.
Holding number 54 defense. 5-yard penalty and 1st down.
Holding on Billy Ray Smith.
54.
It carries the automatic 1st down.
Let's find out what happened to Billy Ray Smith right in the middle of the formation. Who does he hang on to this time? Seems to be mirroring John Elway back and forth across the formation. There it is. Oh, yeah, he's got a hold of that jersey inside just for a second. I don't know, Charlie. That's a cheesy call.
I think
there.
That's a ticky-tack.
I mean, he gets his hand inside the receiver, number 33. That's Gene Lang. But that's a tough call if you're a defensive coordinator.
Does that count in the stats as a 3rd down conversion? No, it doesn't count. Okay. But it doesn't count as a not 3rd down conversion because it's a penalty. All right, here's Sammy Winder. Winder from the 50-yard line to the 43, gain of 7, second down and 3. Billy Ray Smith makes the tackle. Gilbert is also there. Thus far in the ball game, Denver has run 32 times, and they have thrown 31 times. 63 plays. San Diego has 41 plays. 31 passes, 10 rushes. Second and 3. Denver, of course, continues to use the clock. Elway wants to take 27, 28 seconds off the clock each time. As Winder picks up the first down to the 33-yard line. A gain of 10 yards on the play in the first down, as Martin Bayless brings him down at the 33.
And any type of score here, Charlie, ends the football game for the Chargers. They got to feel that way. Down by 14 points with just a little under 10 minutes to go in the contest. They've got to come out with the blitz, try to get Elway out of his rhythm, and force the turnover. A field goal will put the Broncos in the driver's seat for the remainder of the game. And they are right now anyway.
Sammy Winder. 4 yards to the 29. Second down and 6. Billy Ray Smith making the tackle at the 29. And again, Elway will keep track of the 30-second clock and try and use it all up. Already he's running down to 9 minutes left to go in the ball game. Four seconds on the 30-second clock with the snap, and Winder picks up the first down. 21-yard line. He needed 6, and he got the 6. Thomas Benson stops him just inside the 22, but still the first down. And Denver in complete control of the ball game.
That one spark by the Chargers brought them into the game about a half a step, but that's about it. It's their defense that has been forced to stay on the field for the remainder of the afternoon.
Gene Lang.
And that's what's happening. This is a tired defense. We mentioned earlier that last week Seattle had 89 offensive plays. Well, that's a whole lot of time on the football field. And this afternoon that trend continues. And Lang having an afternoon that he can be proud of, carrying the football and getting some valuable yardage for the Broncos.
And also wearing the visor.
A lot of players have got that visor. Mike Charles, number 71 for the Chargers, has it. Lang is wearing it. A lot of people.
A couple of reasons. One keeps dirt out of your eyes. The other is it keeps fingers out of your eyes. And here's Lang. And they'll take him out of bounds, and that stops the clock with 7 minutes and 19 seconds left to go. And how quickly the last 3.5 and 4 minutes have just been spinning by.
Number 76, Ken Lanier, right side of your screen, leading the play around the side. He takes on Jeffrey Jackson, number 52. Nice block on the part of Lanier. He pushed the defender far enough downfield, but it was Billy Ray Smith on the outside who made sure that the Broncos didn't get much running room.
And the magic now. Third down and 6. Denver's converted 11 of 12 third down opportunities. The current drive, they've used up 6:44 on the clock. Quarterback draw. This was a called play. Joe Phillips stops it. And it's been a long time between third down stops by the San Diego defense. And Rich Carlos will come in with a field goal attempt. He has hit from 27 yards out. So on the year, he has only missed 3 times, 14 of 17, and his long being 51 yards, which matches his career best. Extra points, he's perfect on the season. This one be from 39 yards away. It is no good. He misses to the left from 39 yards out. So the score remains Denver 31, San Diego 17. But he ran 7 minutes and 20 seconds off of the clock.
And that was their goal the whole time. They'll take it. If Carlos misses the field goal, that would have been just icing on the cake. But taking 7:20 off the clock, they got the football with about 14 minutes left in the contest. Now 14 points down. The Chargers only have 6:43 to try to get back into the contest.
So they have to score quickly, and then an onside kick, and then try and score quickly again. And they haven't been able to score quickly throughout the whole ballgame.
No, they haven't. The only person that's done anything for them is Gary Anderson.
And so the Chargers go to work at their own 22-yard line. Is it mission impossible? 6:43 left to go. They have to score twice in that time period just to tie. Faust drops this one off. Here's Tim Spencer. And Spencer goes out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Now, the fact that he goes out of bounds is important unto itself, as that does stop the clock.
Yeah, he makes a nice move on Mark Haynes to avoid him and get out of bounds, as well as picking up some yardage. What they're doing, that time they had Gary Anderson in the slot. He was double-teamed on the play. Fouts wanted him right away, but he was forced to go to the back out of the backfield because of the double-teaming of the Bronco defense.
Now, in this situation where Denver wants to cut off anything deep and big and quick, what are the options of Fouts?
He's got to try to get something underneath to a quick back and hopefully get some yards up the seam.
He hands to Barry Red and the flag is down. Why even bother with a running play? You're shaking your head also.
Yeah, I sure am.
I just thought I'd ask. And while they're checking out the penalty, let's run down all of the scores. Indianapolis big over Houston. Chicago wins again. Buffalo shuts out Miami. These, of course, all of the early games. Philadelphia in overtime with a field goal over New England. And New Orleans there. New Orleans in the playoffs.
Number 74 offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Not in the playoffs. Winning season for the first time in history. And final, the Jets 27-20 over Cincinnati. That was a blocked field goal that returned right at the end of that ball game. And St. Louis wins again. And Atlanta loses again. St. Louis kind of coming on latter part of the season. Here's Fouts, and the pass is incomplete. Oh, he was buried by Reuben Jones. And the game's in progress. Ooh, the Redskins climbing back into that ball game. Giants have been comfortably in front now. Fourth quarter, the margin is only 3. And the Rams 35-3 over Tampa Bay. We haven't talked much about the calf injury of Dan Fouts. Happened a couple of weeks ago, warm-up for the Raiders. Played in that ball game, was not able to play, but just a little bit in the second half. In the Seattle game, he's played the whole ball game, and it hasn't seemed to have affected him.
What is good? Oh.
Wes Chandler, 18 yards.
And I don't think anyone expected Chandler to actually come back with this football. A floater on the part of Fouts. Take a look at Chandler down the bottom right part of your screen. Nearly pushed out of bounds, but he hangs in there. And Fouts had to float the football over Mark Haynes, number 36 in front, and over Wilson, number 45 on the other side. What a catch. Watch his feet. Yeah, they're there. He dots the I with the back feet. That's a good catch.
48-yard line. San Diego shy to the 50. And it's 3rd down and 2. First down. Barry Redden pulls it in at the 42-yard line. Gain of 6 and the first down.
Well, they've got to get a 2-minute offense working here, Charlie. 5:50 left in the contest, huddling up. Now with a veteran quarterback like Dan Fouts not in there. I think he called 2 plays in the huddle and go from there.
Rick Dennison with the last tackle. Fouts has pressure. And he is dropped for a sack. Second sack in the ball game for Denver. Carl Mecklenburg gets this one. The Chargers, who are number 1 in the AFC in sacks with 39 coming into the ball game, do not have a sack in the ball game.
Let's take a look at Mecklenburg. This time he's lined up as the linebacker spot. Coming inside right at the gut. He leaps to defend a running back, Barry Red. He leaped right over him to make the sack.
2nd and 14. Fouts goes deep. Single coverage. It is intercepted. Tony Lilly, who had been dropped from a starting position to a backup position. In the nickel coverage, that's 5 in the secondary, has the interception, his 3rd of the year.
Gary Anderson stops on the play. Fouts wants to go to him. Again, he's the one with the speed in the group, but they've got somebody short on him. There's somebody deep. That's Lindley. See him stopping on the play. A big mistake on his part. And Fouts figures, well, look, we've got a good athlete out there who's got great leaping ability. And it's a great interception on the part of Tony Lilly to take the ball away from Gary Anderson.
Just reaching over the top with a good hand. And Denver has the ball at their own 5-yard line with 5 minutes and 10 seconds left to go. Leading by 14, 31-17. You know, it's a nice feeling for Lilly to being moved down, and then you make a key play. Denver from their own 5. And they'll just continue to work on the clock. Here's Sammy Winder. We've been running a quarterback comparison. We looked at it earlier. Let's look at it again.
Normally a Dan Fouts, as you see John Elway.
Well, they're even on short passes.
In the short area they are, but normally Dan Fouts in that middle area, 10 to 19 passes, that's where he's very strong.
Elway, of course, much stronger as they go deeper. San Diego's defense has allowed 63 first downs in the last 2 weeks. Second down and 7. Elway throwing. The pass is complete to Orson Mobley. That's in reality like a long handoff. Billy Ray Smith makes the tackle. He goes out of bounds, stopping the clock, 4:23. I'm still surprised at that call.
It's a safe play, Charlie. You're right about being a long handoff, but I am as well. I mean, this Charger defense seems to be beaten. The Broncos have been moving it successfully over the last quarter on the ground. Why not stay there? Why take the chance of putting in the air at all?
Denver 6-3-1, now looking to be 7-3-1. San Diego looking to lose 2 in a row to go to 8-3. Meanwhile, tomorrow night, Seattle in the Kingdome hosting the Raiders. And Seattle with a victory there as Gene Lang almost breaks it open. Will have an opportunity to tie San Diego for the lead in the West. So the good news from the Chargers standpoint is losing 2 in a row, assuming this one is gone. We'll have to wait and see officially, of course, is to the fact that you're still in it. But Seattle has the Raiders tomorrow night, then at Pittsburgh, Denver in the Kingdome, at Chicago.
That's the toughest schedule of the 3 teams.
And then at Kansas City.
Yeah, the toughest of the 3 teams that are still involved in the race in the West.
And we'll look at the other ones. 2nd and 3 at the 25. Gene Lang. And now San Diego's remaining games. At Houston, Pittsburgh here, Indianapolis here, then finishing up at Denver in Mile High Stadium. It's the last Sunday, a couple of games after Christmas. And the Broncos, New England, at Seattle, Kansas City home, and San Diego at home. So there's still a lot of action remaining. But right now, it's interesting. You almost feel as if San Diego has the hardest row to hoe, and yet they could well end up just tied for the lead.
Well, with their 8-game winning streak, they were really riding a high for the last 2 weeks. They've brought them right back down to the playing turf because they've been beaten soundly 2 straight weeks.
And if the Raiders pull off the upset over Seattle, then they would still be in the lead. Seattle looking very good, though. Really looking good. And tough at home. Boy, they are tough in the Kingdome. Giants still remaining in front of Washington by 3 in the 4th quarter, 19-16. Rams 35, Tampa Bay 3 in the 4th. Here we have 2.5 minutes to go. And Denver just working the clock on its way down. Again, Denver hosts New England next Sunday. San Diego will be at Houston. And Dan Reeves looking for his record to go 7-3-1. This is his 7th year as the head coach of the Denver Broncos. And they now have more than 375 yards of offense in 8 of the 11 games this year. Gene Lang, the ball carrier, and that'll take us down to the 2-minute warning as Lee Williams makes the tackle. Now we're going to have a timeout. San Diego is going to stop the clock, trying to buy one more play in case they could recover a fumble, do a quick score, onside kick, and get back in the ball game.
Well, it's a good move.
Yes.
You know, they're down by 14 points now, but you actually wind up with a second timeout because the 2-minute warning follows immediately, and it's like adding another timeout to your arsenal.
But they took one earlier, so now they only have one remaining. And you want to take them on defense. Your offense can control the clock, with the exception of what happened at the end of the first half when you want to see one for the field goal attempt. But you can control it by throwing the ball out of bounds, that type of thing. Whereas you can't control the clock defensively. Denver's looked so impressive. They said, could John Elway do it 3 weeks in a row? He's done it 3 weeks in a row. He may do it for 7 weeks in a row. He has looked that good.
Yeah, he's really hit stride.
Yes.
The past 3 weeks, he's lived up to every expectation that anyone has had of him. I mean, Dan Reeves saying he's the best quarterback he's ever seen is really saying quite a bit.
Well, when he came out of Stanford as the top draft choice, and then struggling that first year with Denver. I remember doing a game in Chicago, and the Chicago Bear defense just buried him that first year like he was lost.
They blitzed him to death, and he didn't know what to do with the football. But he's coming of age. He's 5 years in the league. He's drafted by 2 baseball teams. Do you remember who they were?
That's right. No, I remember him being drafted.
He was drafted by the Yankees and by the Royals. 2 different years, 2 different times.
I would have guessed one of them.
Yeah, the Yankees.
No, I'd have guessed Kansas City. I don't know what. Then on the other side, here's Dan Fouts in his 15th year. He was a number 3 draft choice back in '73. What a great career he has had. And it's not the end of it. He wants to play at least one more year.
Yeah, and he's had a good season. Last year, people were writing him off, saying take the seat in the Hall of Fame a little bit earlier, which, of course, he'll be there as soon as he's eligible.
Meanwhile, Gene Lang, 30-yard line. And again, they're just continuing to work on the clock. And now the 2-minute warning to make it official. And it's Denver 31, San Diego 17. Upbeat on the sideline, encouraging. He goes through the entire organization, and he talks to everybody, and he works to lift the whole organization. He's a great outlaw.
Yeah, he does. He's also the most accessible NFL coach there is, as far as the press.
But he's young.
Yeah, give him a couple of years.
No, I don't think so.
But he's willing to spend a half an hour with somebody to sit down and explain what his game plan is, and it's something that many NFL coaches simply don't have time to do. Or are willing to do.
Willing to do. And now let's take a look at the report card for the Broncos. Elway, 347 yards, 3 touchdowns. 4 if you want to count the interception return. Lang rushes for 73. Elway rushes for 42 yards. The 3 amigos. Oh, that's a great graphic. 14 receptions, 275 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And the 3 amigos, of course, Bart Jackson, Vance Johnson, and Ricky Natillo. Brought down by Gilbert. And now San Diego will use their last timeout. 1:50 left to go. Denver by 14. We'll be back. Cephalo and Mike Horan with his first punt of the ball game.
Well, the kind of success Denver has had on 3rd down conversions. He doesn't have a tired foot out there.
Lionel James is the return man. Good kick after waiting all afternoon. 19-yard line. Back to the 25. He has about 10, maybe 11 yards on the return. A 48-yard kick by Mike Horan, and Ken Bell makes the tackle. And let's check the report card on the San Diego Chargers as they get ready for their last hurrah of this game. Fouts 21 of 35, 280 yards. He could go over the 300-yard mark. No touchdowns, 1 interception. Adams rushes for 38 yards. Winslow 5 receptions for 49. Anderson 3 receptions for 85. San Diego from the 29, Fouts back to throw. Chandler has it at the 49-yard line. 20 yards and the first down. Hurry-up offense for San Diego. They have no timeouts remaining. Mike Harden makes the tackle. Fouts going deep. It is there. It is caught. It's the 29-yard line of Denver. And the hurry-up offense continues. Now Fouts can step back and just drill the ball into the ground and stop the clock. That's legal. It's a new rule this year. There it does, right there. One minute and 3 seconds. That is the time remaining. There's the Budweiser Most Valuable Player, John Elway. And Budweiser make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all of the MVPs selected in today's game. Elway for president. San Diego, the Chargers like that to get him out. Elway is thrown for 347 yards. And bounce. It is intercepted but out of bounds. Mark Haynes makes the play now with 56 seconds. Time remaining.
It's clearly out of bounds. Fouts is trying to hope for another miracle catch as he had before by West Chandler, but there you see 2 feet out of bounds, and no question about that call.
At the 28-yard line with 56 seconds left to go. Fouts is now thrown for 323 yards in the ball game. So this is Dan Fouts' 50th 5-0 career 300-yard day.
An NFL record.
Yes.
One of 8 that he holds.
It is intercepted. Rick Dennison makes the interception for the Denver Broncos. 47 seconds left. No timeout for San Diego, and that makes it official.
I think it's been official for a little while, though, Charlie. Dan Fouts, though.
But there was that moment there in that drive, a couple of quick passes, and all of a sudden they might have, but they didn't.
Well, with Dan Fouts back there, you never know when it's going to end. 323 yards he goes throughout the day. You would never imagine he had that many yards on the afternoon. Didn't have that many opportunities.
Didn't have that many opportunities.
No, 40 throws on the day, but the Chargers didn't have very many rushing attempts on the afternoon. It was all on Dan Fouts' arm.
And now, of course, Denver will be content just to down the ball and let the clock run. They'll have to do it one more time. And San Diego's record will be 8-3. And Denver's record will be 7-3-1. Time of possession, Denver 40 minutes, San Diego 20 minutes. 2-1. It's amazing he can put up over 300 yards in just 20 minutes of offense. Denver said they had to win it. If they didn't, they're 2.5 back with 4 to go. Their goal is to win the championship of the Western Division. They had to win today, and they did it. Seattle had to win against San Diego last week, and they did it. San Diego's lost 2 in a row. Big win for the Broncos.
Yeah, the 2 wild-card teams just may come from the AFC West division. But as you said, the goal of each of those 2 coaches is to win the division, not to get in as a wild-card team.
And now San Diego will have to get it back at Houston indoors next week. Final once again, 31-17. We'll be back in just a moment to San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium.